If you have a 401k or a 403b or a solo 401k and you pay yourself as a W-2 employee, I'm going to walk you through 3 examples on how you can make the maximum contribution to your retirement plan. So these numbers are going to be for 2022. So the 2022 maximum contributions has what's called a 415 limit. And that is a total of up to $61,000 if you're under the age of 50, and an additional $6,500 if you're over the age of 50 as a catch-up contribution, 50 or older. Now, there's 3 types of contributions that are inevitably going to be put into your retirement plan, and that is going to be the employee side, the employer side, and I put a third one down here as a non-deductible contribution, and I'll explain what that is in a couple of minutes. So the first one is going to be the employee contribution. Now, whether or not you're a small business owner or an employee, you're going to be an employee for these purposes. So the maximum that you can put in is going to be $20,500 for 2022. And that could be in either the traditional side or the Roth side. The combination of those two as an employee deferral is going to be $20,500. So for example, if we earned $50,000, we can make a $20,500 contribution here. We could do the same thing if we earn $80,000, so $20,500 here. And again, if we're earning $150,000, we can do the maximum $20,500. Now, the examples I'm going to go through are going to be for somebody that's under the age of 50, but you could just tack on that contribution to these numbers. So the employer side is going to be either a match if it's a retirement plan at work, or if you have a solo 401k and you're paying yourself as a W-2, then it's going to be a profit sharing contribution. They're basically the same thing as far as you're concerned. The only difference here is if you have a retirement plan at work, that will be a match, and that will be dependent on how much money you're putting in or what percentage of your salary that you're putting in. So the employer side, we can put in a maximum of 25%. So it can be anything below 25%. So if it's a retirement plan at work, it's usually between 3 and 6%. But if you have a solo 401k, it's up to 25%. So let's assume that we're maximizing the amount of the profit sharing contribution, which is going to be the 25%. So I'll go ahead and I will pull up my calculator here so we can see this together. And I'm just going to walk you through the math. It's going to be 25% of 50,000. So we'll just put it in here, $50,000 times 0.25. So the maximum that we can put in is $12,500 as an employer contribution. And then for the $80,000, it's going to be the same math. So we're going to put in the $80,000 multiplied by 0.25, and you can see that's $20,000. And then we're going to do the same thing for a $150,000 earner. So it's going to be $150,000 times 0.25. So it's going to be $37,500. So let me go ahead and add these up really quickly so we can see where we're at right now. So right here we have our $12,500 plus our $20,500, and that's going to be $33,000. So I'll write $33,000 there. And then for here we have, that one's easy, $40,500. And then we have, what do we have here? We have 37, 47, 57, $58,000 right there. So that is where we're at with these current contributions. Now, again, this could be split up any way. The employer side is always going to go to the traditional side. Now, that's not going to affect your taxes. That is going to affect the employer side as a deduction. So if you have a solo 401k, this is going to be basically a business expense. And of course, your employer, if you have a workplace plan, will be able to write off on their taxes, but it has no bearing on your taxes. It just gets contributed to the traditional side of your retirement plan. So for example, let's say I put in the full $20,500 to my Roth 401k, then the full contribution to the match side is going to go to the traditional side regardless. And that is the same if it's a workplace plan or a solo 401k. It goes to the traditional side only. Now, $61,000 is the max that we can put in for 2022. So what this means is that if we have $61,000 and we subtract our $33,000 here, that means we can put in an additional $28,000 into our retirement plan in this example. However, there is something called 415 limits. Now, the 415 limits state that you can either do $61,000 or it's the lesser of this $61,000 or this $50,000. So the maximum that we can actually put into this plan can only go up to $50,000, which is inclusive of this employer match or profit sharing contribution. So we can't actually put in our $28,000. What it is $50,000 minus our $33,000, and that is going to be an additional $17,000. And that could be a non-deductible contribution. A non-deductible contribution is similar to a Roth contribution where it is after tax, but it goes to the traditional side of your retirement plan. Now you can immediately convert it over as long as your plan documents allow for this and as long as they also allow for non-deductible contributions. If that is the case, this is called the Mega Backdoor Roth strategy. So this is where you're putting in the $17,000 to the traditional side of your retirement plan, like a 401k, and then immediately putting it over to the Roth 401k. That is the Mega Backdoor Roth strategy. So with the $80,000, because it's above the $61,000, then this becomes our cap, 61. Not in this case, it was 50, but in this case, it's going to be the 61,000. So we have $40,500. So if we have $61,000 minus our $40,500, that means we can make a non-deductible contribution in this example of $20,500. And again, put it into the traditional side and then immediately convert it to the Roth side. And for our $150,000 example, we could see that we only have $3,000 to go. So that means we can only make a non-deductible contribution up to $3,000. So the maximum in this example was $61,000. Maximum here was $61,000. And the maximum here was $50,000. Now, if you are 50 or older, you can do that additional catch-up contribution of $6,500, which is not affected by the 415 limits. So in that case, it would be possible in this example to actually contribute $56,500 into your retirement plan. And in this case, it doesn't matter. In this case, it doesn't matter. It would just be the additional $6,500. So you would add $61,000 plus the $6,500. That would be your maximum contribution that you can put into this type of a plan. Now, there's a lot of different ways that you can mix this up. You can actually make all the contributions and get all of the contributions, including the employer contributions, over to the Roth side if you want. A lot of people like that Roth side because they want that tax-free growth. Well, all you would need to do is put the employee side directly to the Roth side and then immediately convert the employer match over to the Roth side. Of course, it would be taxable in the year that you're doing that. And then with the non-deductible contribution, because it is already taxed, you're going to make that non-deductible contribution and then put it over to the Roth 401k or 403b side. Or if you have a solo 401k, it's basically the same thing. The only thing that you have to pay attention to is whether or not your plan documents allow for this type of a strategy as a non-deductible contribution and then converting it over. If it doesn't and you can't make this non-deductible contribution, then you're going to be limited by the $20,500 and then the employer match or profit sharing contributions. So that is how you can get money into your 401k, your 403b, or your solo 401k, as long as you're a W-2 employee. So if you have any questions on this stuff, let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.